Hello, welcome to another Burgundy with Tweedy video. Sorry I'm probably in silhouette, aren't I? But wanted to try and catch a little bit of that pinkish sky. It's just a few minutes before sunset. As ever, I did head over to Parliament Hill first, but despite the temperatures dropping now this time of year, we're almost halfway through September, there were still a decent number of people there. Alas, and a little bit too busy for me to be able to talk to my imaginary friends in the box without feeling self-conscious. Today, some Nuits Saint-Georges. I've just taken delivery of a mixed case of 6 from Lay and Wheeler. It's a wine merchant I've used before, and I think I've mentioned them a couple of times before on the channel. One of the things I like about them is that they hold wine on behalf of their clients, and then you can sell it on through them. So it's a bit like Berry Brothers have that exchange thing, and it means there's often a lot of interesting wines and vintages available there that perhaps might be sold out already elsewhere. Generally speaking, the prices are fairly reasonable as well, so I'm not quite sure how that works because, of course, you know, Lay and Wheeler are acting as a middleman there, so they must be taking a cut. This is Bertrand et Axelle Machard de Gramont. It's a 2019 vintage, and it is from a vineyard called Les Vallerots. Not a premier cru or anything, but it is a named vineyard nonetheless. Perhaps I can stick a map on screen. Is that going to be that side? I don't know. First of all, the colour, somewhere in the middle, slightly darkish. The light's fading, that's not helping. I don't know quite where to peg that nose. Sort of dark fruit, possibly blackcurranty. Feels slightly like something woody, and or possibly even that dreaded struck match note, of which I'm not a fan, is creeping in around the edges. Yeah, it's not a brilliant start actually, if I'm honest. Somewhere hiding behind that there is some slightly fuller, fresher fruit, possibly even veering into our old friend cherry, but a little bit hidden behind some sort of secondary, tertiary note right now. What that does have, however, is a beautiful silky mouthfeel, a slight salinity, a sort of pebbly minerality. I'm trying to find something that goes hand in hand with the mouthfeel there. Yeah, sort of mineral but smooth, if that makes sense. It's kind of part of the sensation of that silky mouthfeel. And in amongst that is some nice bright fruit, and everything very clean and pure and quite Nuits Saint-Georges-y, lovely fruit expression there on the palate. Not really getting much in the way of tannins at all to speak of. Can't really detect much of a tannic finish. Some very, very subtle sweet spice perhaps around the edges, sort of cake spice, you know, sort of things you would use for baking, which is nice. That goes really pleasantly with the fruit there, that really quite nice pure fruit. Really nice weight, mouthfeel, texture on the palate. I like everything from then on, but still this nose isn't doing much for me. I'm getting just still more woody notes. Not really a lot of fruit aroma there. There's maybe something vaguely floral around the edges, sort of possibly dried rose petals, rosehip tea, something like that. It has a sort of not particularly fresh, fragrant version of rose, but a more kind of dry, wouldn't say severe, but weird lack of fruit there. Maybe my nose is just blocked, I don't know. Don't think I have a cold, but very nice on the palate. So perhaps I will shut up for a bit, sit here when it starts to get dark, continue to swirl this around and nose it and see if any actual aromas turn up. But I would say, yeah, mixed bag there, very much like the palate, like everything it's doing there, weirdly little on the nose. Perhaps that will develop. Still a tiny bit of pink left in the sky, but it's a bit faint now, isn't it? That may be all there was to show for the sunset today. Are we past the official moment yet? It's 7:26 right now, and yes, the internet told me that the official moment of sunset for London today was 7:21, so 5 minutes ago. continue to not understand why people pay over the odds to drink wine in wine bars. Second glass now, and still very little going on the nose. It may just be that it's incredibly subtle and a bit shy. At least some of those rough edges have blown off now. I'm not getting the struck match or the sort of woodiness anymore. Just a very faint, pleasant but very, very faint and subtle sort of berry fruit kind of aroma. Perhaps it's just me, I don't know, perhaps that's my sense of smell might be having a day off today, who knows. Odd though, really not giving me much at all on the nose, but the rest of it I do like. Cheers.